वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति देव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुराः सुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Greetings from Ahmedabad. Here also it is this Sunday, 3rd of May, and I have chosen 10 o'clock in the morning as a time to record this class, just for me to make me feel that as though I am in the Arshavidya Gurukulam. I am sitting in my cottage, ready to come out. I open the door. And there is a group of smiling, welcoming number of students. Someone comes forward and takes the book from my hand. Someone takes the umbrella from my hand. We exchange some greetings and start walking towards the lecture hall. It's nothing wrong in imagining this. Although Ahmedabad is nowhere near Sailasburg, it is 42 degrees centigrade right now, which is like 108 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm sure it is more like 54 degrees in Sailasburg. This is how it is generally every year. Here I'm carrying my own books and my own umbrella in my hand from my room. Of course, the social distancing does not allow someone to carry my umbrella anyway. So that's where we are. I visualize that we are all walking towards the lecture hall, enjoying the flowers, the landscaping, the green trees. On the way, someone is talking to me about things, how things happen during the year and whatnot. And we enter the lecture hall. Couple of years ago, we will enter our old lecture hall, come in front of Lord Dakshinamurti. There also I see a number of people. So with smiles on their face, greeting the Swami. And I take my place in the dais. And the class starts. It's amazing what Ishvara does. Through some insignificant thing like a virus, the coronavirus, how it has changed everything completely. It has separated us from the people whom we would like to be with. It's likely also that some of us are stuck with those whom we don't care to be with also. But it is a different world altogether. And they tell us that it will never be the same again. The social distancing norms, etc., will continue for at least the next couple of years until they've invented a vaccine which is produced in large quantity, distributed all over the world. And this COVID-19 is essentially, we are free from that. So I guess we have to be ready for that new way of life. In India, of course, we are further locked down for 2 more weeks. And lockdown here is lockdown, meaning pretty strict. The US also there is a lockdown. Perhaps not as strict as here. And now I understand that some freedom is given to the people to go to work, to go for shopping. But people are scared. On one hand, I need the income. On the other hand, I do not know whether I should go to work and I might contract this disease. So a very strange situation has been created, which we are going through. Which in one way or the other, many of you also may be going through. With all these uncertainties, all we can do is to pray. Pray for the well-being of everybody and well-being of our own self. With that said, we can now begin our classes on the Bhagavad Gita. I understand that we are in the 4th chapter of the Gita. And the 18th verse, which is the central verse in the 4th chapter, has been generally discussed. That is a verse Well, Lord Krishna makes a somewhat unusual statement which appears to be contradictory on the face of it. Karmani akarmayah pashet akarmani cha karmayah. Karmani, in karma, yaha akarma pashet, one who sees the actionless in action. Akarma also translates inaction. One who sees inaction in action. Akarmani cha karmayah. And one who sees action in inaction. What necessitated Lord Krishna to make a statement like that? Lord Krishna has said to Arjuna, Kuru karmaiva tasmatvam. Tasmat, therefore, he Arjuna, tvam karma kurueva. May you perform action. Karma kurueva. May you should necessarily perform the action, meaning your duty. Karma eva kuru, and the duty is what you must necessarily do. So Lord Krishna feels that even while performing the duty, it is important that we understand the true nature of karma. Lord Krishna prefaced this verse by saying, Kim karma kima karmeti kavayopyatra mohitaha. Kim karma, what is action? Kim akarma, what is inaction? With regard to that, kavayopyatra mohitaha. Kavayaha. Even learned people also are mohitaha, deluded. What is meant that even the learned people have a wrong understanding about what karma and akarma are. But they believe that what they understand is correct. That is called moha or brahma. Understanding something as contrary to what it is and believing that our understanding is right. That would be called moha. So learned people also think that they understand what karma or action is and what akarma or inaction is. And with that understanding, they live their life. In as much as it is understanding that really is the most important thing in our life. Because our understanding of the realities of life is what determines what our goal is, what our values are, what our attitudes are, what our desires are, what our actions are. The 17th chapter, Lord Krishna says, Shraddha mayoyam purushaha yoyat shraddhas evasaha. This Purusha or human being is made of Shraddha. Yoyat shraddha sevasaha. a person is what his or her Shraddha is. And Shraddha means basic conviction about life is called Shraddha here. Therefore, the basic understanding is most important. Even at the intellectual level. Because that understanding will reflect in what our goals are, what the end is, what the means is, what the values are, what the attitudes are. All of these are determined by our understanding of the basic realities of life. And of course that is the subject matter of Vedanta. Teaching us what the basic realities are. What's the basic reality of you? It's called Tvam. What's the basic reality of Ishvara? That's called Tat. What's the relationship between them? That's called Asi. Here Lord Krishna essentially says that in different context. The context is karma, performance of action. And Lord Krishna seems to be quite anxious in impressing or making Arjuna understand the importance of karma at this stage of spiritual growth in his life. And therefore many reasons have been given in the second chapter, third chapter, and up to this verse in the fourth chapter also, with the conclusion, Kuru karmayeva tasmat tvam. Tasmat tvam karma kuru eva. Therefore, hey Arjuna, may you perform karma, means a duty. While doing so, Lord Krishna feels that it is important for Arjuna to understand what the true nature of karma is, so that he would understand what it is to be achieved by performance of karma. Lord Krishna prescribes karma for action or duty, not for the sake of duty, not for perpetuating the duty or action also. Ultimately, to become free from karma. Meaning, becoming free from the need to perform karma. Karma as just the activities of hands and legs and speech is not a problem for us anyway. It is a compulsion that is behind those activities. I have to perform that action, or I cannot perform that action. It is this which is called bondage, which empowers action, which empowers a life to create a sense of being compelled. When I feel that I have to perform the action, which means I am compelled. I do not want to perform that action, that also shows compulsion. And that compulsion is, what is bondage? When I feel compelled, I don't feel free. Even though if free will is given to me, not only that, but freedom is my true nature, neither do I enjoy the freedom that is my true nature, nor do I enjoy the freedom by way of the free will, when there is a sense of compulsion. When I feel that I am not allowed to do what I want to do, I have to do what I do not want to do, it's all compulsion. So the purpose of prescribing karma is to become free from karma, meaning becoming free from this compulsion that very often karma creates in us. In the words of Puja Swamiji, it is not freedom from action, it is freedom in action. So how to gain that freedom? So that whether I perform action or not does not remain of any consequence. Which means that I am free to respond to the situation as the situation calls for. That I should do something, I am available. I should not do something, I am available. I do not feel compelled. I do not feel helpless. I do not feel bound by any situation occurring before me. So this is one way of describing freedom. The freedom to be what I am, and the freedom to do what needs to be done. You can see how Lord Krishna enjoys that freedom. He remains free to be what he is. At the same time, he enjoys the freedom to do what is necessary to do. Therefore, when Arjuna requests Lord Krishna, "Oh Lord, will you please become my charioteer? Will you please become my driver?" Lord has no hesitation at all in making himself available. Even though by status he is the Lord of all the three worlds, but he has freedom even to be a servant. Take care of a chariot, take care of the horses, washing the horses every evening, feeding them, massaging them, relieving their pain and exhaustion. And doing all of that without a sense of compulsion or helplessness. Doing all that joyfully, I assume. So that is the kind of freedom that Lord Krishna wants to teach. I guess Lord Krishna has no objection in people who are withdrawn from the world and who live in isolation and abiding in themselves. I don't think Lord Krishna has any problem with that. But between you and me, I think Lord Krishna prefers people who are useful. That's what he wants. I guess he wants to run the world. So he needs people whom he can trust and who will join his scheme without offering any resistance, who will become a nimitta or true instrument in his hand. I guess he seems to value those people also very much. Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. Therefore, hey Sabyasachi, hey Arjuna, may become nimitta, may become an instrument in my hand. Loka sanghamevapi sampashyan kartum arhasi. Hey Arjuna, if you think that you are already liberated, then also karma kartum arhasi. Even then also it is only proper that you should continue to remain active. Loka sanghamevapi, because Loka, the world, has lots of needs. And ideally, the needs of others can be fulfilled by one who is free from need himself or herself. So it is true that we have to progress towards ourselves becoming free from needs, from expectations, from demands, by discovering inner self-sufficiency, of course. Giving up needs and possessions as a discipline also is good. You can say giving up has these two phases. One is giving up by will, because I have discovered a value of becoming free from them. And the second stage is growing out of the need of those things. That now I no more need those things. Why is it so? Because I have discovered for my own self what I thought those things were giving me. So those things I thought were giving me happiness, comfort, security, well-being, which now I have discovered for my own self. Let's go growing out of the need. In which case those things drop off. Then giving up or renunciation no remains a willful action. It's something that takes place. Then when a person is himself or herself become free from all needs and expectations and demands, then he or she is totally available to fulfill the needs and demands of the world. That's the kind of picture that we get from the Bhagavad Gita. It is teaching the same thing that the Upanishad teaches us, no doubt. But whereas the Upanishad primarily emphasizes sannyasa, meaning formally become free from duties and discovering a freedom from the action and then remaining in yourself by self, which is wonderful. But Bhagavad Gita rather seems to talk about that freedom, of course, is talked about, no doubt about that. But further, a freedom of a wise person who is free in doing things. Therefore, understanding the true nature of karma will give us an idea of what it is that we should be seeking through the process of performing karma or duty. So Lord Krishna does not seem to emphasize inaction as necessarily freedom from activity. But Lord Krishna seems to emphasize inaction as freedom from compulsion. That an action creates in me some kind of a reaction that I don't don't want to do it, or I want to do it. Na dveshte kushalam karma kushale nanu sajjate. Na dveshti akushalam karma. There is no dvesha or aversion for a karma that may be considered akushalam. Meaning not something that one necessarily cares to do. Not a very pleasant action. As Arjuna is required to do, like fighting this battle, which has very unpleasant consequences. Nadveshti akushalam karma. Even what appears to be akushalam karma, unpleasant action, unpleasant from the standpoint of the result that will bring. Nadveshti, the person does not have dvesha or aversion or resistance or opposition to that. Because Lord Krishna believes that this kind of actions also have to be performed. Dukkhamityavyat karma kaya klesha bhayat tyajet sakrutva rajasam tyagam naiva tyaga phalam labhed. Dukkhamiteva. This action is very painful, meaning this action involves a lot of exertion. Or the outcome is unpleasant. Kaya klesha bhayat tyajet. One gives up the action because it involves too much of exertion. Physical exertion, mental exertion. Sakrutva rajasam tyagam, Lord Krishna says, that is the rajasa tyaga. Meaning tyaga or renunciation born of rajas, born of ragadvesha. So even when Lord Krishna in the 18th chapter describes sannyasa in the beginning, describes sannyasa or sattvic sannyasa is where one performs what is required to be done without attachment or expectation of the reward. And so, for becoming free from action, or for understanding what is meant by freedom from action, it is necessary to understand what is the true nature of action. And therefore, now that the context of duty or action is going on, and that Lord Krishna has essentially established Purvaihi Purvataram Krutam, even the seekers such as Janaka and others also performed actions or duties. Kuru karmayo tasmat tvam, therefore Arjuna, you also perform your duty. So the case for performance of duty has been made in the context of Arjuna. Then Lord Krishna now reveals here the essential nature of karma. By making this preface, Kim karma, kima karmeti, kavayo pyatra mohitaha. Kim karma, what is karma? Kim akarma, what is akarma? What is action, what is inaction? Kavayo pyatra mohitaha atra. On this subject matter, Kavayopi mohitaha. Even the Kavaya learned people also entertain false notions about this. Tatte karma pravakshami yajñātva mokshase asubhat. Therefore, te karma pravakshami, prakarshena vakshami. I will very well tell you what karma is. And by the rules of Sandhi, tatte akarma pravakshami. I will also tell you what akarma is. What is the purpose why you will tell me, Lord? Yajñātva mokshase asubhat. Yajñātva, knowing which? Knowing what is the true nature of karma and true nature of a karma, what is action and what is inaction, what is action, what is actionlessness. Mokshase asubhat. Asubhat mokshase. Mokshase will be released. Asubhat from asubha. From inauspicious, from pain, from grief, from samsara. So simply by knowing the true nature of karma and akarma, action and inaction, one becomes released from the samsara, from the cycle of pain. That means that knowing true nature of action is also knowing true nature of self, of course. Because tarati shokam atmavit. Atmavit, the knower of Atma, knower of the self, tarati shokam, shokam tarati, crosses the grief. So in the context of karma now, Lord wants to unfold the nature of the self, nature of truth. Keeping which in mind, if karma is performed, as to what it is that I am seeking to accomplish through performance of this duty, the performance of duty will become much easier because I know what the outcome is. Lord Krishna seems to suggest that performance of karma can also become a means of knowledge of karma and akarma. Meaning, can essentially become the means of knowledge of the self. Meaning that it can bring us pretty close to knowledge of self. And then the remaining process of Shravanam, Mananam, etc. can take place much easily. Therefore, in the 18th verse, which is the central verse of this 4th chapter of the Gita, Lord Krishna says, Karmanya karmayah pasyed, akarmani cha karmayah, sabuddhiman manusyeshu, sayukta kritsna karma krit. Since you are not in front of me to repeat this verse, otherwise I would have chanted each quarter of the verse and you would have repeated, but here I imagine in my own mind that that's happening. Karmani akarma yah pasyed, akarmani cha karmayah. Karmani, 7th case of the word karman. Yah karmani akarma pasyed. Karmani in action, yah the one, pasyed sees, akarma in action. That's the literal meaning of these words. One who sees in action, inaction. Akarmani cha karmayah. Akarmani, again 7th case, in inaction. Yah karma pasyed, who sees action. So one who sees inaction in action and action in inaction. Sabuddhiman manusyeshu. The second line of the verse praises the wise person who has the knowledge of karma and akarma as described by the Lord. Sabuddhiman manusheshu saha manusheshu buddhiman. Buddhiman, intelligent. Not only intelligent, but who possesses intelligence in abundant measure. That's what the Matu Pratyaya means. He is truly the intelligent person among the human beings. So yuktaha. Yuktaha, same root as yuj. He is a yogi. Krishna karma krit. Krishna karma, all the actions or duties. Krit. So one who has performed all the actions, one has performed all the duties. Yah pashit, one who sees this truth about action. Krishna karma krit. That knowledge amounts to his having performed all the duties. In the 15th chapter, Lord says, Kritakrutyascha Bharata. That the word is Kritakrutya, one who has done whatever has to be done, whatever needs to be done. In the context of the Vedic culture, wherein a person grows with the orientation of duty. From childhood itself, the idea of duty is ingrained in the person as to what the duties are. Even a child also has duties to perform. Main duty may be studying, and whatever else in terms of complying with the basic rules and structure of the family. And then in the Vedic culture, a person grows with the idea of duty. What is duty? Something that I have to do. That's called duty. Which I am obliged to do. So the idea of duty also brings about the idea of obligation. It's obligatory duty. That I am obliged to do this. Why am I obliged? Because Vedas say that you are indebted. You are receiving the favor from the rest of the universe, and therefore it's only proper for you to return that favor. That you are being favored, helped by the rest of the universe. Recognize this and discover from yourself a sense of gratitude. So when I discover in me a sense of gratitude as to what all is done for me, then there arises from me a response that this is what I should do. Therefore, an action performed with the sense of gratitude can be called duty. Even though the word duty seems to imply some kind of a compulsion that I have to do, and duties are taught in the Vedas by the Vidhi Vakya, by the Vakya, the statements which are of the nature of Vidhi, enjoinment, ordering you to do something. And the grammatical use of verbs also is those which imply some kind of an order or compulsion. But ideally, this action called duty should emerge from a sense of gratitude. That is called the maturity. When a person recognizes how fortunate I am to be what I am, where I am, and how I am receiving the unasked flavor from not only whole world but immediately from the structure where I am. We are all in a given setup. And the beneficiary of a setup called the society, a setup called the family, etc. So Vedas want us to recognize this. And that's how a sense of gratitude would arise in me. And therefore I will be willingly returning the favor. So ideally duty is where you willingly return the favor. But otherwise in a duty, an idea of having to do is involved generally. Generally a person doesn't want to do things. And therefore it is having to do. And so duty does create a sense of compulsion. I have to do. In that sense, duty is also an expression of bondage. So then, kritsna karma krit, a person who has performed all the duties. Nobody can ever perform all the duties, never. What is meant by having performed all the duties is the kind of a sense of compulsion that the duty used to bring about in me that I have to do. I felt guilty when I failed to do what I had to do. One becomes free from all sense of guilt and compulsion. And therefore there does not remain any duty in one's life. When would there be no duty? When I do not feel obliged. When would that be? When I do not receive any favor. When would that be? When I am not in need of any favor. When would that be? When I find myself complete, self-sufficient. That I am complete as I am. Atmaneva atmana tushtaha. One is satisfied, contented with oneself as oneself is, as one is. Because now this person no more identifies with upadhi. Because nobody can be satisfied with the self as long as one judges oneself based on the upadhi of the body, mind, sense complex. Because under any circumstances that complex will remain limited. And therefore, identifying with the upadhi and judging oneself based on the upadhi, one can never be free from a sense of smallness. And therefore, there is no way that I can feel any kind of a lasting satisfaction with myself. When a desire is fulfilled, I forget my incompleteness, I feel satisfied, and incompleteness comes back. But the lasting sense of fulfillment comes only when the incompleteness goes, when I am no more identified with my body, mind, sense complex, I am identified with my true nature. That's called the knowledge. So this is when I am totally satisfied with myself as I am. And therefore, I am no more in need of receiving favor from anybody. That does not mean I don't care for anybody. It is just that I have discovered a freedom from the need. And therefore my relationship with the world changes. Formerly, I interacted with the universe as a needy person. A person who had some needs. And I looked upon the universe as that which would fulfill my need, or that which should fulfill my need. And then I was aware that, look, the universe is fulfilling my need. And therefore there was a sense of gratitude and a return in favor. But when there is no need, now I do not relate to universe as a needy person. I relate to universe as a person who is complete or fulfilled or satisfied with himself. So I am truly in a position now to offer myself unconditionally. Being a contributor or offering myself, of course, is a value for a karma yogi. As a karma yogi, still I am a limited individual. And so there are still some needs. And therefore, even though I am a contributor, I cannot be an unconditional contributor. Because my own needs still remain, and therefore even through the process of contribution, it's likely that I may also seek the fulfillment of my own need. But when a person becomes free from need, he becomes a total contributor. Meaning that an action no more remains an obligation, no more remains a burden. It becomes a spontaneous expression of the person. So that is what is meant by krishna karma krit. One who has fulfilled all the duties. Meaning that the sense of duty no more remains in that person. That person may continue to do things as before. But now, there is no sense that I am doing something, obliging somebody. It is a spontaneous action of being useful, being a contributor. Teva krishna karma krit. One who has performed all one's duty can be a person now who does not perform any action also because there is no need. Or a person who continues to perform lots of actions. In the following verses, when Lord Krishna praises this knowledge, as Bhashyakara says, this karma, akarma jnanam stauti. In the following verses, Lord Krishna extols this knowledge of seeing inaction in action and action in inaction, where both these kinds of persons are described. A person who seems to be constantly doing a lot of activities, or a person who does not perform any activities other than sustaining his body. Meaning that the outer form is not of consequence because that is determined by prarabdha. How a wise person will act, will he be a very active person, apparently a great contributor, or will he withdraw into a cave or something? That is determined by Ishvara more than by the person. When you say prarabdha, means Ishvara decides. Both are equal contributors. A person who is very active is a great contributor. A person who is not active may equally be a great contributor at a different level. Krishna karma krit. But that, as a result of this knowledge, the true nature of karma and akarma, a person discovers total freedom to do what is necessary or not do something. This freedom from karma. Krishna karma krit. He is also a yogi. As the yogi also described in subsequent verses, a yogi is a person who is the master of himself, who has gained complete mastery over all aspects of his personality, his body, sense organs, mind, all of them are in complete harmony. The mastery need not mean that he controls them or restrains them. Restraining them was necessary during the process, of karma yoga, jnana yoga, etc. But ultimately, ideally, yogi is a person who is free from the need of restraining, who enjoys a complete harmony with himself, whose thought, word, deed, all of them in harmony. But that's what we would want ultimately. So yuktaha, this person is yuktaha, he's a yogi. Because there are no conflicts in his mind. There are no demands, no expectations, therefore no disappointments. There was no sense of rejection, no sense of hurt, no sense of guilt. One's mind, therefore, is totally free from all sorrow or pain. In which mind, therefore, the freedom or happiness, which is the nature of self, becomes manifest. So Krishna, he is the yukta, yogi. Sabuddhiman manusheshu, among human beings, saha buddhiman, means intelligent. Buddhiman means one who possesses buddhi, or wisdom in this case. So, he possesses the true wisdom. The purpose of buddhi, the purpose of intelligence that is given to the human being, intellect is given. The ultimate purpose of intellect, as you know, that vivek or discrimination is the unique feature of the human intellect. To discriminate between right and wrong, between dharma and adharma, and ultimately between atma and anatma, self and non-self, between satya and mithya. So that viveka or separation is what buddhi is ultimately designed for. Meaning that the human buddhi or human intellect has this potential. And what we have to do is to cultivate this potential. The karma yoga, the values, attitudes, prayers, worship, all of which are the means of purification of the buddhi or developing a concentration of focus in the buddhi, all of this sharpen this viveka or the ability to discriminate. Drishyate tvagriya buddhya sukshmaya sukshmadarshibhi. The Atma can be seen by sukshmadarshi, those who have cultivated the ability to see subtle things. Sukshmaya agreya buddhya, those who cultivated sukshma buddhi, the subtlety of the buddhi, the ability to see subtle things. Agreya ekagrata, the focus. So as these qualities are cultivated, the ability of the buddhi to discriminate subtler and subtler things also becomes manifest. And ultimately the buddhi gains the capacity to discriminate or separate the self from the non-self. So that is what ultimately the human buddhi can do. Buddhiman, one who possesses that kind of buddhi, where one discriminates between the self and non-self. In the context of this verse, karma and akarma. One who sees akarma in karma, and one who sees karma and akarma, that seeing, that discrimination is the real wisdom. That's the real buddhi. And one who possesses that wisdom, that buddhi is called buddhiman. Sabuddhiman manusheshu, Lord Krishna says, Saha manusheshu buddhiman. He is really intelligent. He possesses real wisdom among all the human beings. So this is a goal of karma. Ultimately, the purpose of performing karma, the duty, is to reach this end. And therefore Lord Krishna sees the necessity of explaining here the true nature of karma, keeping which in mind may you, Arjuna, perform your duty. So you know what is ultimately involved. What is the purpose of performing all this karma, the duty? When their highest goal is very clear, then small things do not affect the mind. And therefore in this 18th verse, Lord Krishna unfolds the nature of karma and akarma. We'll take a break. As usual, the coffee break. You will all come back after 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever. In the meantime, I'll sit on my chair. I know many of you will come forward to greet me because you're seeing me after so long. And that very happy meeting time will also follow. And then we'll meet again. Hari Om.